Before we start, warning. Spoilers ahead. Today, I'm gonna explain an intriguing and mind-blowing science fiction movie from Black Mirror Seasons 5, called Striking Vipers. Black Mirror is an anthology series, meaning that you do not need to watch the previous episode to understand this movie. The movie begins with Danny Parker and his girlfriend Theo who go to a nightclub and both of them pretend to be strangers, but not for a long time because Carl suddenly shows up and introduces his new girlfriend, Daisy, to them. Turns out that roleplay act turns Theo on, thus the couple decide to go home and have fun. Danny awakens in the middle of the night, finding Carl who has been waiting for him while playing a console game. He then joins Carl playing the action game called Striking Vipers. They play till morning and it is revealed that Carl always picks a young woman character named Roxette while Danny keeps choosing Lance. However, they are too loud and it wakes Theo up, who is very upset with the boys. 11 years later, Danny, who has now become a grown-up man, conducts a barbecue party at his house to celebrate his birthday. Surprisingly, he is also married to Theo, with whom he has a 3-year-old child named Tyler. After losing contact with Danny for a long time, Carl shows up at Danny's house and Theo warmly welcomes him. He tells Theo that he broke up with Daisy. He subsequently comes in and gives his best friend a birthday present. Danny opens the gift and turns out it is the latest series of Striking Vipers game, Striking Vipers X, along with the virtual reality device. Shortly after, they have a beer together and Carl reveals his new girlfriend, Mariella, to Danny and Theo. While washing all the dishes, Theo appears and suggests his husband to hang out more with his friends because he has been spending all his time on work and ignores his social life. She also wants to invite Carl to their family dinner the following day, which Danny reluctantly agrees to. On the other hand, Carl is living a more youthful lifestyle without having to think about family and other stressful stuff. Just after his wife goes to sleep, Danny plays Tetris while he suddenly gets an invitation from Carl to play Striking Vipers X. He puts the game chip into the controller and sticks the VR device to his head. As expected, Carl still picks Roxette as his main character while Danny plays as Lance. As the game commences, they fall back motionless on their couches. Danny is shocked when he finds out that he is in the game and is able to control the character without using the controller. Before they begin to fight, Carl warns his best friend that the game emulates physical sensation. The fight ensues and it seems like Danny is no match to Carl as his avatar, Roxette, manages to beat his character down easily. Carl eventually wins the first round and Danny feels real pain as his character is hurt. Fortunately, the injuries immediately disappear at the end of the round. During their battle in the second round, Carl kisses Danny using his avatar, but Danny immediately pulls away and quits the game. Danny, who is still shocked with what has just happened, goes to bed and sleep. The next day, while his wife is away, Danny puts Tyler to bed and then immediately plays Striking Vipers X with Carl again. They choose the same characters as usual and this time Danny has gotten accustomed to his new body of Lance. Instead of fighting, they kiss each other through their avatars. A few moments later, Danny is forced to exit the game after his son distracts him by kicking him. Still that evening, Theo returns home and attempts to tease his husband, who shows no interest towards her. Since then, Danny and Carl regularly meet up and make love virtually in the game. They both enjoy the feeling as the game emulates physical sensation. Meanwhile, Theo notices a change in her relationship with Danny as he keeps rejecting her request to have sexual intercourse. At some point, Danny, through his avatar, asks Carl about the feeling of being in a woman's body. He replies that it's satisfying and they both begin to kiss again. To make things worse, Danny even forgets his wedding anniversary with Theo, which upsets her. He informs Carl that he can't play tonight as he plans to have a romantic dinner with his wife. In the restaurant, Theo brings up the topic about them not having intercourse for a while, despite their plan to have a baby. Danny makes it clear that nothing is going on and it's just him who is tired lately. That night, Danny locks the game and the VR device in a cabinet. He even ignores Carl's messages until he calls him to clarify everything, telling him that he cannot do the forbidden relationship anymore. This shattered Carl's heart, but he couldn't do anything. 7 months later, Theo is finally pregnant and she secretly invites Carl to come to celebrate Danny's birthday. Long story short, Carl arrives and they have dinner together. When Theo leaves the room, Carl admits that he has tried to replace him with the AI and other players in the game, but he states that the sensation is incomparable when he did it with Danny. He once even tried it with a polar bear, but he just couldn't get Danny out of his mind. Unfortunately, Danny refuses to play the game and the dinner continues. During the night, Danny can't sleep and changes his mind. He plays the game and the pair are having fun again. At some point, Carl tells Danny that he loves him. Danny is furious because he is unsure of his feelings, thus he asks Carl to meet up in real life. They arrive at a parking lot and they kiss in their real bodies to see if there's any connection between them. Both of them admit they feel nothing during the kiss, but Carl still insists that it's a different feeling if they do it in the game. They fight because Danny refuses to do it again until the police come and arrest them. Sometimes later, Theo comes to the police station to release his husband. On their way back home, Theo asks Danny what's happening between him and his best friend, but he doesn't say a single word. At the end of the movie, it's Danny's birthday again, but something weird happens as Theo allows his husband to have a virtual relationship in the game with Carl while she can go out to a bar without her wedding ring and meet up with a stranger as the exchange. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.